Referee der letzten beiden Viertelfinals ist the puppy George Noble.
We have one semi-final set up here at the European Darts Open. Mighty Michael van Gerwen, the world #1, takes on the former Champions League of Darts winner Mensur Suljovic. We have seen one absolute belter of a game between MVG and Gerwyn Price, with the world #1 surviving a match dart in a thriller. And then we've seen, quite frankly, a masterclass from Mensur Suljovic, who appears to have played James Wade like a fiddle by slowing the game down until Wade became so annoyed and frustrated that he just could not match Mensur's level, which was a very good level. It was 102 average. And Mensur has benefited and has a chance of claiming another Euro Tour title. This, I assume, certainly from the pre-match exchanges between Rob Cross, the world #2, and Justin Pipe, the unseeded player left in the tournament, is probably set to be a more genial affair. And let's have this right. Rob Cross has been incredible all year. He's been superb this weekend so far. Justin Pipe, for different reasons, has been quite astonishing this weekend. He had not made a quarter-final of any tournament since last summer. He has gone out in round 1 of most of the Pro Tour events so far this year. Admittedly, it's not that he's been playing dreadfully at the start of this year. He's lost with some high averages, including 104 at the weekend to Gerwyn Price. But more importantly than that, Justin Pipe lost his dad less than a couple of weeks ago, and has come here this weekend because he thought that's what his dad would have wanted, and he's found a way to win games, and he's played some good darts in the process as well. He beat Darren Webster, the #15 seed, with an average more than 96. He found a way to beat Ian White, the #2 seed, in the second round, and that's after seeing off Ryan Meikle with another mid-90s average in the opener. How Justin Pipe has done this, I do not know.
Game on.
But whether he goes on to make the semi-finals or whether his run here at the European Darts Open ends at the quarter-final stage at the hands of one of the 4 men in world darts right now, either way, he has been a credit to himself and his family. Paul Nicholson joins me, Dan Dawson, in the comms box for quarter-final #3. It is the Force and Voltage.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments, Dan. It's been a heroic effort from Pipe so far this week, and it's not over yet, that's for sure. And those exchanges at the start of the game, Justin did something that he could get away with it with Rob, because Rob's a light-hearted kind of guy sometimes, but there's a couple of lads I know that if he'd have stolen one of his darts from the table, I think they might have exploded a little bit. It's one of those unwritten rules. You don't touch anybody else's kit, but Rob's not like that. He's a really good bit of crack, that's for sure, in the practice room. He's been in a very light-hearted mood this week. Every time you look at him, he's smiling and laughing.
58.
But he'd be smiling for different reasons, because he really has been very good. That game today with Johnny Clayton was just brilliant, and the 1-2-7 was just unreal, as well as the finish. It was the real crescendo in darting terms. A 1-6-2 followed by a 140, 5 treble 18s with a double 16. That was as good as I've seen this year, alongside the Jamie Lewis 3-4, 1-6 at the UK Open.
Well, look, the 5 treble 18s followed by a double 16 is, of course, the last 6 darts he threw to win the World Championship title, beating Phil Taylor to cap that extraordinary debut year for Rob Cross. And last year, he didn't achieve what he set out to. He did win a couple of titles. He had a good year last year. I think that's what people overlook. It was not rubbish from Rob Cross last year by any stretch of the imagination. Semi-final of the Premier League, won a Pro Tour title, won a World Series event, beating Van Gerwen in the final. It just wasn't Rob Cross smashing Van Gerwen all over the place, which is what I think some people expected. Double 10. Right on the wire. Goes the wrong side of it.
It's unusual for Rob Cross not to finish a game of darts in 15 or less. And he's going to have to settle for something around 16 or 17, or possibly 18. He won't really care about that. It's all about just getting the chalk mark.
Robbie required 20.
Justin has had a couple of goes at Rob Cross. Lost them both. Lost one in Barnsley last year in a last leg decider, and lost in 2017. in the proto event just before the World Grand Prix, which Rob went on to win.
Justin signed a new management deal at the end of 2018. He needed a bit of a fresh start. He signed with TCL, Tom Cousins' company, who also look after Conan Whitehead, Simon Stevenson, who had a fabulous UK Open.
Oh, yeah. The last man to beat Raymond van Barneveld at the UK Open. Unless, of course, Barney decides to come back and play as an amateur in future years. I don't see that happening.
What, you don't think he's going to go to Riley's next year?
I'm not, well, I mean, I'd like to see it. I think it'd be funny.
I love how Riley's would force him to wear a Riley shirt instead of his own shirt.
Well, they did to former UK Open and World Championship finalist Wes Newton, didn't they?
Just didn't look like the shirt that he was told to wear, because Wes always used to wear red anyway.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Wes, of course, had many a battle with Justin Pipe. They had a bit of a blue at one point in the World Championship, where Wes made some remarks like he was going to sleep on the oche.
Yeah, it wasn't dissimilar to the game we just seen, was it?
Yeah, very similar indeed. But then, wasn't it against Justin Pipe where Wes hit that 9-darter at Blackpool? I think
Possibly.
it was.
Yeah, quite possibly.
58. Justin, you've got 147.
Justin, it's a good leg of darts. He's on to a finish after 3 visits. Was literally in amongst the crowd earlier after his win against Darren Webster.
59.
Jumped off the stage, vaulted the fence there, and then just buried himself in a big German throng.
Wow. That's the only word for that. All of a sudden, the pressure on Pipe to hit these 2 snowmen, and he could well do it. He likes the straight shots down the pipe, so to speak. And there you go. That's a beautiful reply after Rob Cross piled on that pressure.
Yeah, Justin does like those ones on the side of the board. He'll leave double 13 more than anybody else I know, actually. You often see it when players are looking last 2 darts in the hand, they've got 62, they'll look at the 12 for ball, and if they hit the treble, they leave double 13. But Justin will often elect to leave it.
Yeah, something like 86. He might even go 60 for double 13.
97.
Yeah, Justin, of course, is the only person left in the tournament at the quarterfinal stage who has not been in the Premier League or in it this year, for that matter.
Yeah, I think that is a record. We've never seen 7 Premier League stars. Nico Bloom.
That is Nico Bloom with some new hair.
Flower Power, as he's known. One of the young German stars who we've seen on the European Tour before. Yeah, 7 Premier League players in the quarterfinals of the Euro Tour. We've not seen that before, I believe. And then, but you had the very weird situation where 3 games tonight, this is the only game from the quarterfinal stages, which wasn't a Premier League fixture in Nottingham 9 days ago.
Just plain weird.
And there, we saw Van Gerwen beat Gerwyn Price. That's happened. We saw Suljovic beat Wade. That's happened. We've got Gurney versus Wright coming up. That was a draw. So that's not going to happen.
Ain't happening.
If that happens, we really are making history on the Euro Tour.
167.
Couple of big finishes here.
Treble 19 first. Feels like to go the non-typical way for shots like that. He'll go for the 54 first on a 164. That is perfect. That is good. Now, the first dart kinked down to cover the ball. He had to go to the left. Can he see enough? Oh, boy! Frame that one. That is one of the best 170s you will ever see, because you couldn't even see the ball from the middle of the hockey. Phenomenal.
There are only a handful of players on the planet who can nearly cover the ball for a 170. Justin Pipe did, stepped over and pinned it anyway. Of all the 170s you are likely to see in this game, you will struggle to see a better one than that, technically speaking, at any rate.
We've had camera angles this tournament that have shown just how much the flight dips at the back. As the point goes in, the flight goes down, and you can see how much it will cover it. If he'd have gone for the bull from the centre there, he would have hit the flight. Simple as that.
Well, astonishing. Astonishing moment from Justin Pipe. Weekend from him. I spoke to him earlier, and I said, look, this has kind of come out of the blue, hasn't it, Justin? I know that your personal circumstances are such where this is incredible anyway, but the fact is you've been losing almost all of your games this year. And he said, no, I've been playing all right. And when you do dig through the stats on the Dart Connect system, he's not wrong. At the weekend, he lost first. He got drawn against Gerwyn Price both days. He lost with 104 average on the Saturday and a 97 average on the Sunday. Sometimes you've just got to take those ones. He lost with a 90 averages for most of the other time. He's not averaged below 88, so he's not having any real stinkers.
No, he's not playing poorly, that's for sure.
No.
But I love your use of words there about out of the blue, because his nickname is Blue.
Well, it's his actual name. You look at his passport, isn't it? It's the name that his folks gave him, Blue.
Yeah, good headline, wouldn't it? If he can get this tournament in the bag. He was, of course, the first winner on the European Tour in Austria, where he beat James Wade in the final.
59.
So he knows what it's like to win, but it's been a very long time between drinks.
It has. Well, look, I mean, it was 8 months ago that he last made a quarter-final. He's not made a semi-final of anything since the back end of 2017, when in Minehead, just down the road from his home in Taunton, he went on a run to the semis of the Players' Championship finals. Minehead is the place where he's done his best work in TV majors. 3-time major semi-finalist. All of them have come there.
Well, it's pretty likely considering there's 2 tournaments there a year.
Yes. Oh, it's the home of World Darts, after all. It's Rob Cross. Does he split this? I think he's looking over to the right.
Straight for it?
No, he's going out.
Well, of course, Justin Pipe has got even more on his plate in 2019. Before this tournament, he was projected to be 68th in the world at the end of the year. So this run here and the inflated prize money for a minimum of a quarter-final, which is now £5,000, this is going to do his Order of Merit a world of good, and his chances of making the Worlds this year a lot of good, because he didn't make the Worlds
80.
last time round.
Yeah, well, Justin, he'd won 1,500 quid going into this weekend. He's already won twice as much of that just by getting through to the final day of action. And it is going up and up and up, and they are big jumps. £5 grand for this, £6.5 grand for a semi, 10 grand for the final, £25,000 in ranking money if you were to win this title. And Justin Pipe knows how to win titles. Yes, it has been a long while, but it's not as if it's something he hasn't done.
And he's done it against the best. When
Yes.
he won his first Pro Tour title in Dublin, he beat Phil Taylor in the final.
Yep. He's look, 2010, 2011, he was a real, well, he was the force, but he was a force, a real force.
There's that angle that you can see. Look how much of the bull you can see with that dart in the 60.
Yeah.
Barely any of it.
I don't think there's anybody in dart. There are plenty of players who have darts that go in perpendicular or just below, but nobody has darts that go into that extent for Justin Pipe. It's a very long dart that he uses as well, so obviously it's going to go even further down the board.
I'm trying to think. There is somebody else that has them going really. They dip, like Richie Howson. He's another one who's been on the Pro Tour and played on the Challenge Tour as well. His darts will really flatten. The flight is much lower than the point. But look what he's left.
Well, he may not get a go at it. He has to rely on Rob Cross missing this double 16. And he's not going to do that. Rob Cross hasn't been missing very much over the course of this weekend. And Rob Cross here, he was playing Johnny Clayton. Johnny Clayton does not mess about. That was a very rapid game of darts. He was running about the place, the ferret, scampering about, firing in big scores and taking out checkouts. And the one mistake that he made ended up being fatal, because Rob Cross did not look back after taking out 127 checkout, and he was just pinging in stuff left, right and centre. Ended with an average of almost 106. This is a very different game, of course
60.
it is. It's a different kind of rhythm that he's got to settle into, and yet he is averaging up sort of 104 at the minute. Because it doesn't matter. Oh, it's actually dropped a little bit over the last couple of visits, but it's been up at 104, 105, 106 over the last sort of couple of minutes.
100.
And Rob Cross is able to do this. It doesn't matter. He's not going to get hurried. He's not going to get flustered. He's not going to get frustrated. He's just going to go about his business. And his business, all through the year, is throw ton plus averages. Curiously, it's not been enough to win a title as yet. It's not been enough to make a final on the tour. He did make the UK Open final, of course. And that was, unfortunately for Rob, one of his rare off games against Nathan Aspinall. Just ran out of steam.
45.
You can see from that angle just the dip of the flight from the side angle. And I think after that 170, Justin was just trying to stay focused and on point. You can see that Rob Cross's darts go in the exact opposite angle from the upright sense.
60.
And that's a setup that hasn't changed much since he won the world title. He's had the same points. The darts may have changed ever so slightly, maybe a groove here and there, but aesthetically, nothing's changed.
Well, he actually did. They were pretty much the same setup. He tried another set which had a slightly different. I mean, we're talking minor differences to the grip, but just a bit where he could put his thumb. But just went back to the previous ones. He had a point snap just before he was about to play in the Premier League the other day, and so he changed to a brand new set. And he's a bit worried about it. No need to. He still went and averaged over 100 again and won his game. And he's been using these darts since. They are the same weight and everything. They've got a higher value of content of tungsten, so they're just slightly thinner. And hey, look, they're working.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing right now. Bullseye. He's going to lay up
61.
only just leaving tops.
130.
But now, this 130 is very similar to that 170, but he only needs 420s as opposed to 6. But if he gets 6, he'll have double 5. Now he's got to do it again. Rob's looking on as if to say, not again.
Oh, he nearly did.
Almost hit the post.
My word.
40.
That
If he'd have
was-
hit that one, I reckon he would have done that every time he had the bullseye.
Well,
Double 10 for Cross to get a 2-leg gap. A look of frustration before he threw that final dart of the leg. Probably because it was an 18-dart leg, but it was huge in the context of the match.
Game on.
See from the facial expression of Justin Pipe after just missing that ball. He really is fighting here to try and stick with Cross. He's trying to put everything into this, Justin Pipe, because he has not qualified for the next 3 European tours. But this will inspire him for the next qualifiers, which will be for Graz and Sindelfingen. 2 amazing venues. Sindelfingen, the home of the European Tour. Graz, which was a new venue last year, which was nothing short of bonkers.
yeah, absolutely incredible. Great addition to the European Tour.
Mensahville, next to the lake.
But the strange thing is, you know, we're talking about those next 2 qualifiers, which are coming up, not immediately, but they'll be with us soon. And they're for Euro Tours 5 and 6. We're only in the first European Tour event. That one it brings us to almost the halfway mark in the European Tour. So if you've not been getting on the Euro Tour by that point and you're not making money, that's half your season gone in trying to qualify for the European Championship. But Justin Pipe, as I say, whatever happens, he's done himself all kinds of favours with his run to this final session. I just think that Rob Cross is looking too strong. He may be too strong for everybody here this weekend. Because the signs have been there all through 2019 that Rob Cross means business. He's going to stay up there, isn't he? That'll do it.
Yeah, great layup from Cross. That'll do to get himself on a finish, but it may be academic. Can't see Rob Cross missing. And he doesn't. And that last leg of 18 darts might have been below par for him, but he corrected that with a beautiful 13.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that Rob Cross, as well as he's been playing all the way through this year, and he knows he's playing well, he still thinks he's got a lot more. The monster averages that Rob Cross has hit, you know, the 112s, things like that, which we've seen from him. Seen him average 117, I think, on the tour is the highest one he's had.
Yeah, 117.99.
There we go. Steady dart. And the scoring has clicked into gear the last couple of legs. He's hit maximums in each of them. Could be a maximum
Surely.
from Justin. Hey.
Gotta be. Absolutely. Great response from Pipe. Hang about. Got a switch. Successful.
177.
Now it's 144. It's 6 18s, right? For another one.
Rob Cross has only hit one perfect leg. 1-9 darter in his PDC career. The way he is playing, this could go. It will be the 18th segment, I'm sure of that. Oh my word, that will be frustrating for Cross. 6 perfect darts, no more.
44.
Do you see any pressure in that face? I don't. A bit of a smirk from George Noble as well. This game has been played in a magnificent spirit. Great to see. It would have been something else if Pipe had hit that 161.
Well, it would have been interesting to see if he'd done the little half step to the left and pinned the bullseye. But Rob Cross to wrap this up and book his place in the semi-finals. Treble 20 for double top.
Treble 16.
60.
Good layup.
Justin,
Forces
you're
Pipe
going
to take us 96. And if he doesn't get the 60, he might go double-double. No need for that. Just one double required. Double 9. That may be it. Because you cannot see Rob Cross missing this tops to put himself through to the semis.
For another ton-plus average, as he's been doing all the way through this weekend and pretty much all the way through this year. Double 10 gets the job done. And Justin Pipe's valiant run this weekend comes to an end in the quarterfinals. His first ranking quarterfinal for 8 months. But what's an incredible display from the Force to go on this run after everything he's been going through for the last couple of weeks. Credit to himself and his family and his dad. And Justin Pipe hopefully will be back playing some top quality darts against the best players in the world on the European Tour. Going to have to be a wait for him. Rob Cross will not be waiting very long before the semi-finals, where he is going to face the winner of our last remaining quarter-final. 2 more Premier League stars collide as Darrell Gurney, the Players' Champion, takes on Peter Snakebite Wright, a 6-time Euro Tour winner. Voltage has just got an average 102 again. Can he be stopped? He can, but it's going to take something very, very special.
Einen großen Applaus für The Force, Justin Pipe. Yes, you can. Justin möchte noch ein paar Worte sagen, bevor er geht.
Thank you. Honestly, it means a lot to me for you guys to support me this weekend. You've got to support this fella now because he's going to win it for my dad.
Er bedankt sich nochmal für euren Support, den ihr ihm an diesem Wochenende gegeben habt. Wir sagen Danke an Justin Pipe. Justin, welcome. Rob, congratulations first of all through to the semi-finals. That would have been a way to finish it with a 9-darter though, no?
Yeah, it would have been nice. Everything went smooth and then it went a bit pear-shaped, didn't it? Now, 7th dart I find the hardest, so if that goes in, I fancy my chances, obviously. And I just pulled it a bit. I don't know why, but I think I missed 2 on the Europeans last year. And it's there, but it's just not come out.
Ich habe ihm gerade gesagt, ja, das wäre ein schöner Weg gewesen, das Spiel zu beenden mit dem 9-Darter. Da sagt er, ja, der 7. Dart ist immer der schwierigste, sagt er. Den hat er ein bisschen nach unten verzogen. Im letzten Jahr hat er auf der European Tour schon 2 verpasst. Er sagt, der kommt sicher noch, der kommt sicher noch. But we've got to say, Justin Pipe, what a tournament he's played, how much strength and composure he's shown. It's unbelievable.
Do you know, I think it's amazing. Obviously, I can't relate to what he's going through, but that must be hard. My dad comes and watches me and things like that, and it really must be hard. And I wish him and all his family sort of the best, and I hope everything sort of goes well as can be.
Er sagt auch nochmal, es ist unglaublich, was Justin Pipe hier an diesem Wochenende geleistet hat, mit wie viel Stärke und wie viel Konzentration er dieses Turnier gespielt hat unter den Umständen. Und ich glaube, das nötigt allen ihr Respekt ab. Und ich glaube, all unsere Gedanken sind morgen bei Justin Pipe. Und wir bedanken uns bei Rob Cross und wünschen ihm gleich viel Glück im Halbfinale. Danke.